Hello, my name is Jody Hicks, and welcome to the YouTube series, The Story Behind the Gear. Today, I have with me a very interesting Gibson ES 120T. And I'll put some good pictures for everyone to see and check out. This is straight out of the barn, kind of fine. I didn't even clean it up. You can still see the grime on the pickup here. That's where they hollowed out for the T here. It's all the pickups. The pickup is located right here within this one piece, and the electronics. So the body is actually just a hollowed out version here. This one I've looked up online. This one in particular doesn't say made in USA underneath the serial number. However, I may be missing something because I'm relatively new to the ES 120Ts. I know it's a student model. It was manufactured in Kalamazoo, Michigan in between 1962 and 1971. But this one has a very interesting, unique story behind it, and I thought I would start off the series with the story about this and how I acquired it. And hopefully, as we go through this series, you guys will talk about, to me, as much as I talk to you, about some of your gear, how you acquired it, some interesting stories about it, maybe legends. Some gear has legends about it, you know. I mean, if we could find Robert Johnson's famed guitar that he sold his soul to the devil and learned how to play, I'm sure that'd be a great story, right? But anyway, so without further ado, we're going to talk today about the Gibson ES, which I've learned means electric Spanish, short for electric Spanish, the 120T, and how I acquired this gem. So actually, this story starts off, like most good stories, on Facebook Marketplace, where I met an older lady who had the guitar for sale for $150. That's right, I'm not making that up. She had it listed for $150. And granted, it's not, you know, rare ES335 or something that sat under someone's bed, you know, for years. This guitar has obviously been loved and played, but I think that's what also makes it cool, because there is one little ding here where you can tell the neck was repaired a bit and the chip off the corner, but all the original tuning machines, and you can tell the same solid mahogany back and all that's on it. But she had this guitar listed for $150. I called her up, or sent her a message, and said, you know, have you sold the guitar yet? She said, in the hour that she had it up, that she had hundreds of people contact her, which I don't doubt at all. So I told her, ma'am, you probably should sell a guitar for more than $150. You know, she said that she had someone coming to get the guitar. I feel bad for them, but I kind of snaked them a little bit and said, well, they're kind of taking advantage of you, because the guitar is worth more than that, and worst case scenario, I'll help you sell the guitar for more of what it's worth, if that's okay. And she actually just said, well, what do you think it's worth? And I told her, you know, without knowing too much about it and checking them out, that I thought the guitar was worth at least $1,000, even in rough shape. You know, even if it weren't playable. But it obviously, it turns on, it plays. And it's actually got light gauge strings on it, which I don't normally play, but it actually has just a little bit of a rattle, which is probably common on these guitars. With the way the truss rod probably needs a little adjustment. I mean, it's sat up for years. But she told me that, you know, what did I think would be fair, and I told her, you know, probably around $700 to $1,000 is what I could, you know, sell it for sure, for if she would just give me part of the money from that. And she said, well, no, how about you just give me $300 for the guitar and you take it? because she wanted it sold that day. So she did, and that was and I took her up on the deal, but at least she knew what she was selling at that point, and I made sure that if she had any objections later, I felt bad that she would give me a call back. But came across this awesome piece of Gibson history and a great sounding instrument. But I do know that this has the one F hole here, and there's not an F hole on this other side. So although it is a full hollow body, it's not just semi, from what I understand. So, and this side over here is drilled underneath for electronics, but just the one T hole right here, and the electronics are actually under this big black molded pickguard-esque piece here. So I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to put it up for sale. If someone wants to buy it or bid on it, they can. Or if they tell me a great reason I should hold on to it. But I'm thinking that someone will love this guitar more than I will, and play it for years to come. But it's a great sounding instrument, especially if you're into that turning it up and getting some distortion on it, letting it feedback and getting that full hollow body sound that everyone loves to hear squeal. It sounds to me like a Black Keys kind of guitar, you know, something you would hear from those guys, vintage throwback kind of pieces, which I'm a fan of. I love. You'll notice a lot of this is going to be my older. I have a predilection for 70s and 60s Fender and Gibson, and just vintage pieces of gear in general. But ask any of your questions in the comments section about the guitar. I'm going to put some pictures on there. I'll drop in at some point for you. And tell me what you know about these guys, because for my internet research, it's kind of limited information. I know they're produced only for a short period of time, for 9 years, compared to other Gibsons. That's not a very long period of time. But I'm also into some of the less popular, a little more of the obscure Gibson runs. My father has a L6S, which I think is super cool, from the 70s. Solid body. But tell me what you know. Tell me, I want to know some famous stuff that was tracked on this guitar. You know, if there's any like famous like Santos and Johnny piece, or I know, you know, a lot of 60s and 70s artists played 335s and started getting into solid bodies, but I'm sure that there was some great stuff tracked out there on the ES 120T. Thank you. If you like my video and you want to know more and tell me about your guitars, please subscribe, like, and pass it along.